I'd always been told my whole life that God was real and he existed. My dad was a preacher, but I didn't realize how absolutely real he was, and that he was not just in existence, but that he was acutely aware of everything going on in my life. Until about 22 years ago, when I was in addiction, I had given birth to a little boy from a one-night stand that I had had. And when this baby was about 11 months old, he went to go live with his father. His father got temporary custody of him, and we're going back and forth to court. And every time we go to court, it's like I'm losing. Absolutely, I felt so alone. Now, I had quit using, wasn't in recovery because I didn't know much about that, had never been to rehab yet. But I just felt like I'm there all by myself. And the judge had said, you need to get a home, you need to pay child support, you need to pay all your bills, you need to do all these things. And every time I did everything that was asked of me, we would go to court, and it was as if I had done nothing. I was so discouraged, and I felt so alone. I felt like God was just watching all this horrible stuff happen to me. And so one day I'm sitting on the back steps of my house all alone, and I just said out loud, I was like, God, I need a sign. I need something so in my face that it's from you, that I can't chalk it up to coincidence. I just need to know that you see me and you hear me and you know what's going on and that you're with me, because I just feel so alone. A few days later, I had an appointment at the Department of Human Services to get food stamps. And I'm sitting in the office and I'm waiting and waiting. And finally, some ladies come from the back and they're like, Miss Nutt, we are so sorry that it's taking so long. Something happened with the caseworker we were going to have you see. She got called out on an emergency, but there's another lady back here. We're going to let you see her. As soon as she gets a minute, she's going to call you. And so I said, okay. And I sat there, and a little while longer, this lady came from the back, and she had long hair and a skirt on, no makeup. She was really kind of stoic, and she calls me to the back, and she's sitting at her desk, and she's just asking me questions. She has my application there, and she's sitting at her computer, and she's typing like my name and my address and how much I make, and I'm just sitting across from her looking at her. And then all of a sudden, this woman stops typing. She stops what she's doing, and she looks to the side, and she said, I hear that. Yes, I hear that. Thank you, Lord. I hear that. And she looks at me and she says, honey, the people that we meet, God has put in our path for a reason. You asked God for a sign, and he said to tell you this is one of them. He said he's always with you. He's never left you, and he sees absolutely everything that's going on. She said, I don't know what your situation is, but God said you need to give him time, because not everybody is as responsive to hearing him as others, and sometimes it takes him more time to work in the hearts of others. She said, he said it might not go the way you want it to go, but you need to know that he works all things together, not just for your good, but for the good of everyone else that's involved. She said, he's always with you. He said, he's always with you. He's never left you. He sees everything. When I tell you that, my mouth just dropped open. Because, see, people would look at me and say that I was just a drug addict. I was just an unfit mother. And if you said, oh, Angela, and then you got sober and you stayed sober, no. I had 15 more years of running and ripping and snorting and 13 trips to rehab left in me. But God thought that I was important enough to move things around, to get this lady out of the way so he could get this lady up to me, because she listened to the Lord. She said what she did every morning was she woke up and she prayed and she meditated. She said, I talked to the Lord and then I listen. And she said, and when I get quiet, she said, I've become so fine-tuned to the voice of my Father that I can recognize him when he speaks to me in an instant. Even if I'm working, I hear his voice. That's what some people would call prophetic listening. Some people would say I was unworthy to hear anything from God, or to get a message, or for God to say or do anything for me. But he heard my cry. He knew I was desperate. He knew how much I needed to know that I wasn't alone. He also knew all the mistakes I was going to make, and he still thought I was worthy. In that moment, I knew that God existed, that he was very aware of me and my situation, and that he'd never leave me. And so now today, when I go through things, and I know when I speak to him, he hears me, and he's actively working. If he's doing it for me, I promise you he's doing it for you too. You don't have to be perfect. Just talk to him. Okay, I love you.